I was told to say, hello, Leopard Nation. It's like our thanks to Terry Horn, and thanks to Coach Arnie and the entire softball team for everything this year, and for allowing 1480 to be part of the coverage and ride along on this amazing journey with them. As I sat this last week, I was on vacation and I was trying to think of a way to kind of summarize what we saw over the course of time. And a team of destiny is kind of what came to my mind. I was thinking that oftentimes that gets thrown around, but rarely is it ever actually the right thing to say. But with these girls, it's not out of line to say that. When you think back to the beginning of the year, they're no longer in the MVC. You know, first year out of the conference, it's a huge thing to anybody who's from Louisville, and it was a huge kind of, I guess, pierce to the heart, if you will. So they set out a new goal. It was a small goal at first, I guess you could say, but they set out the goal not to win a league title, but to win a state title. And from there on, it was a step-by-step process. We'll fast forward through the regular season, and we get to the district semifinal. That's where they must take down defending Division I state champions. And I see Maddie Johnston is here from Perry, so I apologize. They have to take down Perry. It's a game that's tied at 2 for the longest time. And then kind of that first sign of magic begins. Sarah Cantley hits a solo home run to deep center field on a day when it was very windy, very hard to get the ball out of the park, and she was able to do it. And it started the run. So step 1 is down. They advance to the district final. And when they beat Perry, as I said, they were the Division I reigning state champions. They were ranked 6th at the time. Louisville was not ranked in the poll at the time. And then they move on to the district final, where they faced Lake. And Lake was ranked 4th. They had lost to Lake. I think it was the first game of the year that you guys lost to Lake 5-3. And I remember talking to Coach Arnie about that and having a long discussion on the phone. And it was one of those games that, just like all the rest of these, you can't forget it, because it was 1-0. And so many games were decided by plays that you don't see. If not for Kaylee Nolte making that catch, these girls aren't sitting here right now. Because she made that catch where she laid out her entire body and caught that softball, they're sitting here, they have all this hardware, and they're celebrating the state championship. And then, of course, Tegan Rice drove in 1 run that day as well, too. Didn't want to gloss over that. So that's step 2 down. They move on to the regional semifinal, where they breeze past Chardon, and Sarah Cantley happens to throw a perfect game, which is no big deal at that point. And then they make it to the regional final, where they face Solon. And I remember talking to a number of people and saying, was it going to be a repeat of kind of like what Perry did last year, where they pounded Willoughby South, and it was not even a game, and Solon quickly showed them that they weren't for a dogfight. But again, one of those key plays, one of those destiny-type plays, Casey Olis throws down to second, a rocket to Tegan Rice for a key out. And if they don't get that there, who knows if they even win that game at that point. So steps 3 and 4 down in this destiny-ridden journey, if you will. Then they advance to the state semifinal, and they're locked in a 2-2 tie in the 6th against Elyria. And Rice and Olis hit back-to-back solo home runs to right field, which is where I first said, hello, Leopard Nation. Not to mention that Kaylee Nolte made an okay catch earlier in the game. It wasn't great. It was okay. I think Willie Mays would have been proud. I also forget to mention, too, that when they played Elyria, this isn't some run-of-the-mill team they're facing here. This is an Elyria team that won a state title in 2017. They had just been in this point. Many of the girls on that team had tasted that before. They have 3 state titles. These girls, they had never been there, never had that chance, never had that opportunity. Ken Fennick, their coach, is a legend in the state of Ohio, if you ask anyone about high school softball coaches. But ultimately, they persevere, they win again, 4-2 is the final. Step 5 is down in their long journey here. So then it brings us to the Game 7, as I would call it, because it felt like a series once they got to the Lakota East game. They faced 30-1 Lakota East, who I don't really think many of us knew a lot about. 30-1, they hadn't played anybody from up here. I remember trying to figure out a way to find a comparable score, and I had to like tie 6 teams together to, do like 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon to figure out, what it was like, how they played. So they're down 3-0 early in the game. Alex Fankhauser hits the 2-run bomb, and that makes it 3-2. Another key play in all of this. Those 2 runs, it gets the comeback started. Then Lakota East goes up 7-2 after 2 innings. And at this point, there are so many sports comparisons that came to mind for me. For all of the Louisville fans, I was thinking about when you guys were playing in the football state championship in 2007 and you went down early to Cincinnati Anderson and never recovered in that game. That was the first thing that came to my mind at that point. And I'm sure for many of you it was deja vu all over again at this point. But these girls continued to find a way. The other thing that came to my mind was the 2016 NBA Finals, where the Cavs were down 3-1 to the Warriors. And they had never won an NBA title at that point, and no team had ever come back from that. Something changed at that point, though, because Coach Harding told me later on, in between Game 1 and Game 2 of this series, that was the state championship, that she believed 100% in her girls that they were going to win. And she told me that she wanted to get to the next day because she felt they were going to win. How many coaches would say that in between a rain delay, overnight, and absolutely feel that way after being down 7-2? And I think that trickle-down effect of Coach Harding having that, it affected every single one of these girls, and that's what I'm seeing. So Justina hits a solo home run. She makes it 7-4. They score another run. They make it 7-5. Then there's a rain delay, and then Shay Thomas is called to the plate. And I was told that you had 100% confidence in Shay to hit a home run at this point. Again, great coaching move on her part. But it was like an hour rain delay. I mean, on the broadcast, we were doing freaking trivia at that point. We were asking people about, Browns and Cavs trivia, and then we come out of it, and Shay hits a home run, makes it 7-6, and just like that, the game is down to 1 run. So then the game was completely delayed. And overnight, this is what really stuck with me throughout all of this. I looked back at Twitters of Lauren Bennett and Tegan Rice, and both of them kind of had prophetic tweets overnight. They both said that people needed to be at the stadium the next day because they were going to witness a comeback, or they were going to witness something along the lines that they were going to win. What other team does that? Find a high school team that has that much confidence in themselves to be able to say on Twitter, put it out there for another team to see that has Twitter as well, to know that. They did that. They had that feeling. And it took me again back to the 2016 NBA Finals when the Cavs were down 3-1. GM David Griffin at the time sent out a letter to the team expressing his confidence in them to still win, regardless of what stood in front of them being down 3-1. No team had ever come back from that. Just like no Louisville softball team had ever won a state title. And just like the Cavs, and Griff said, these girls wanted it more, just like the Cavs did. So then we go to the next day, game 2 of the marathon that was the 10-inning state championship game. Down 9-6 in the top of the 7th, 2 outs, 2 strikes, bases loaded. Justina's up. I'm sorry that I butchered your last name, by the way, throughout this postseason. She hits a bases clearing double to tie the game at 9. I will have her know that there were no amount of cough drops that could help me to recover my voice from that after it happened. So then the Leopards finally take the lead. Sarah Cantley hits a solo home run later on in the 9th inning, only to squander that away and tie it again at 10. Then in the 10th inning, they had 4 runs, they put the game to bed, and they win 14-10 after being down 7-2. They outscore Lakota East 12-3. So at this point when writing this, I was thinking, how do I tie in the 2016 NBA Finals one last time? And I was thinking back to the 3 key plays of Game 7. The block by LeBron James, the shot by Kyrie Irving, and the stop by Kevin Love. And I was trying to think, which of these girls made those 3 key plays? And it was hard for me to figure it out because as I started going down the list, each of them made a play. Sarah Cantley battled. She never gave up. She was a rock throughout the game. She could have given up so many times after being down 7-2, but she never panicked. I think she threw 197 pitches over 2 days. It was unbelievable. Casey Olis had a key pickoff play in the 7th, and then started the 2-out rally for the team to, I guess, stay on life support at that point. Shea Thomas had the pinch hit of a lifetime, something that she'll remember for the rest of her life. Lauren Stillwagon was hit by a pitch. How many times did you say Tegan Rice made 2 fantastic catches and just was excellent throughout the entire run. Lexi made some great catches as well. Justina was amazing, had arguably the greatest double in Louisville sports history, maybe in Stark County history. Katie Holding the whole game had been struggling at the plate. Comes to the plate in the 10th inning and hits a single to score a run and create the 2-run difference that throughout the broadcast we were saying they needed to win the game. Again, struggling the whole time, but when everything is on her, she gets it done and brings that extra run across, plus she made some decent catches. Faye Hauser, she ran on to first for the final out and, as I said, got the comeback started. Sydney was Sydney. I know Charlie had a way of saying things about her, but Coach Arney always told me that she's fast as lightning and tough as nails, and I think that pretty much describes her about as well as anything I can think of. And then Ashley Zeifer and Katie Porter, they both ran hard as courtesy runners and supported their teammates in different ways throughout this entire thing. So there wasn't a block, there wasn't a shot, there wasn't a stop, or one defining play, but there was and is that defining word, which is together. Every time something was needed to dig just a little bit deeper, they did it together. I brought up destiny earlier, and I typed in that word, and you can do it on your phone right now. And you'll see that it reads, the hidden power believed to control what will happen in the future. Faith. It seemed like there was a hidden power helping these girls the entire way, whatever it may have been. Every time they needed something, it went their way. And they found that extra run, that extra catch, that extra hit. And I think that word not only defines them, but just this run in general. You know, when you think of teams, you always say you take LeBron or Brady or Lisa Leslie off of a team. And so many times they say that team will fail. With this group, if you were to take just one of these girls off the team, they wouldn't be sitting here. Each and every one of them is why they are here. Each one of them had an impact on the state championship game, the state semifinal game, the regional semifinal game, the regional final game. They all had their moment. And if you take away one of those moments, none of this hardware is here, none of us are sitting here, Terry doesn't invite me here, Coach Arnie isn't wearing a sunflower on our wrist, and there's no state championship. So in closing, together was their word, together they entered this battle, together they fell behind, and together they won. Ultimately, everything they did was together. Thank you.